This is Russ Diethrick, referred to as Mr. Baseball. Here is a small section of Chapter 8 of the book Across the Seams, written by David Muley. Haynes was correct. Jamestown had no trouble finding a new Major League affiliation. In October of 1965, the Los Angeles Dodgers won the World Series. 1 month later, an executive from the Dodgers contacted NYP League President Vince McNamara to express his interest in fielding a team in the league. McNamara referred to the Dodgers to Jamestown and to Russ Diethrick in negotiating a new working agreement, the same in principle to be the one Jamestown Furniture City Baseball previously had with the Taggers. On the field, the Jamestown Dodgers were a disciplined club managed by 26-year-old Bill Barrier, described by Hyde as a hard-nosed character to whom curfew is as sacred as Easter sunrise. Barrier agreed with Hyde's assessment. When I tell my players to be in at a certain time, I don't mean 5 minutes later. The 1966 season was the second year in which the NYP League used a split season in which the winners of each half faced in the playoffs. The Dodgers finished fourth in the first half and then won 10 of their last 11 games to clinch the second half for the season. The story of 1966 was, however, the race for the league batting title between Jamestown Dodgers right fielder Dave McCannon and Batavia center fielder Cito Gaston. McCannon was a 20-year-old construction worker from Dade County, Florida, with a quick temper. Gaston would go on to spend 11 years in the major leagues with the Atlanta Braves and the San Diego Padres. In 1989, Gaston's first year as manager of the Toronto Blue Jays, he led his club to the American League Championship Series. McCannon and Gaston were locked in a race for the highest average throughout July and August. With 4 games to go, both were batting .332. To heighten the drama, the final 4 games of the season were all scheduled to be played between Gaston's Trojans and McCannon's Dodgers at College Stadium. The series began with a doubleheader in which Gaston went 4 for 8 and McCannon went 2 for 6. Gaston increased his average to .336 and McCannon held even at .332.
Skunk fun, there's nothing better than that.
Well, naturally, I've always known that we existed, just because I remember going, when I hear Jamestown Jammers, first thing I think about is a little kid at the park chasing foul balls and running over the fence, being the first one to it, thinking I just got a home run ball or foul ball from Babe Ruth, and that goes in the souvenirs. So Jammers has always been there for me. Number one. Then number two, just always following along with Anthony Barone as the head coach as well. And then when baseball was coming back to Jamestown, heard from George Carlo and said, hey, Jordan, we're bringing baseball back to Jamestown, and that's what led me to this opportunity. Really, what it comes down to is developing connections with people and having trust in the people that you know around you, and that's how it all started. But player one for me was a player that I'd coached in the past. He's a complete competitor and a guy that I knew would be a stone cold closer for us when the game was on the line, almost like your Mariano Rivera, to give you your best comparison, really your only comparison as a stone cold closer over time. But a guy I knew would be a perfect fit for this and would love the opportunity to come in. He was all in. And that's where I started with it, and then just kind of branched myself out from there, and which really works well for me because as a junior college coach, I'm already having conversations to move guys on, and then with this opportunity, not only is it, hey, do we have a guy, at Jamestown Community College that may go there, but you have a guy that may come here, and it works a little bit both ways. These kids get to come to Jamestown, play in front of this many fans. They live in these immaculate dorms that look over the baseball field out your front window, which also have access to a training facility your left side. That's what summer ball is all about. I spent time in Canada eating 8 different flavors of tuna fish. One day it's apricot, one day it's spicy salmon, or I just know, guess it wouldn't be. I don't even know what the heck I was eating, but whatever's there, I took it off, and we'd find a way to eat and make ends meet, and just if looking back, and telling them if I was to have this opportunity, I would do this in a absolute heartbeat, because this is, in my mind, the best situation that you can have when you're going to play summer ball. And in a lot of it too, which made my job easy, is some of these kids that were here in the past, they go back and they tell their college coaches what their experience they had was, and everybody loves it. Everybody loved the last team that won it all down here. Every guy had a blast from the communication that I've been having. So,
what does the ability to access secrets of champions add to the conversation when you talk to a student?
It's value added that you don't get anywhere else, and especially in summer ball. I mean, usually you show up, you go play for 2 months, you hope to get a little bit better, you got your at bats. Going back to your college, now we're adding all kinds of performance, nutrition, sleep, repair, recovery, all of that stuff that just you don't get anywhere, and not to mention with Secrets of Champions, that stuff that's been done with the best of the best in Major League Baseball and really in every platform around the world. What we've been doing is every couple of weeks we're getting on, and the players who are interested, of course, and want to listen more and get up on their health, nutrition, performance, all that stuff. We've been doing a Zoom call, which has been the common thing for everybody in a lot of areas. Can't imagine what we'd have without Skype and Zoom right now. We get on a call, and Dr. Carlo's been on there, and first day we talked about managing our energy cycles, and we led to the next thing. And every couple of weeks, these guys are going to have the chance to do this. As well as something like this as well. Some of the players are going to now continue to get on, doing what I'm doing, and have an opportunity to speak as well. But with Secret Champ, we just continue to add value to these guys. So whether there's 2020 baseball or not, which there isn't, they're still getting something out of this experience. And then when 2021 comes, they get double the experience, hopefully, that everybody else is, or twice the experience that everybody else is getting. But when this coronavirus started, my reaction was like, no way in heck we might lose part of our college season, but this thing's not going on for 3 more months for this. Then a month comes along, I'm like, yeah, maybe this is going to continue. Then 2 months in, it's just like, I don't see how we're going to be able to do this. So actually hearing the news at that point that it was canceled wasn't a shock, but when I first heard it, I was like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to step on the field and coach baseball, what I love doing for the longest time, and it just sucks.
Yeah.
That was the overall reaction of all of it, because I think not only me, but I think everybody was looking forward to 2020 and baseball being back in Jamestown.
The bat end. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about it.
I don't know, pretty neat. Yeah, black and white like the skunk. This was made actually by James Bliss, his company. Used to be SSK. and they changed over to.
Let me zero in on that.
Okay. Carving Masters, I believe it is.
Yeah.
But pretty neat. We're gonna throw our Tarp Skunks sticker on here eventually, and it's spray painted both colors. There's actually 2 types of bats they're doing. This is the non-gloss one. They were just getting ready and prepared to go out before we got the announcement that there'll be no season. But this is what the guys will be swinging for next year.
Terrific. And that's produced by who?
James Bliss.
But you had to look at a crystal ball 5 years from now, Jordan Basile's crystal ball. What might you hope to see?
Oh boy, I guess what just clicked in my mind was just fans at the park. I think that's what just creates a buzz and excitement. Obviously, championship comes to my mind too, but being able to go to the field and people just enjoying Jamestown being back or baseball being back in Jamestown would just be the coolest thing ever, and this really going in the right direction. But I would bring it back again to me chasing foul balls. Like we used to go back and we'd have wiffle ball games behind the bleachers. We'd do whatever the heck was going on, but you'd see all your friends there. You'd hang out at the park, like, oh, tonight's a Jammers game, and that's what we need back here. I think. I mean, we need that to continue, and it is, and it's going to. But that's what I visualize in Friday night game, 7 o'clock under the lights, and people just loving having baseball in Jamestown.
Thank you. This is great. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
These are the secrets of champions.
If there's one ingredient, one mechanic, or one thing that makes a good hitter, could you share it with me?
I think bat speed is the most important thing for me. Good eyes. You got to know the strike zone. He's got bat speed. He's going to probably be a pretty good hitter. But for me, if the kid hadn't got bat speed, I think he's in a world of trouble, because he's going to have to cheat to every pitch like it's going to be a fastball, and then that's when they're going to get him with the off-speed stuff. But, guy with bat speed, he's got a chance to hit for me. But first thing I look at is bat speed.
I like the path of the bat, how long the barrel of the bat stays in the strike zone. Extension towards the pitcher, keeping that barrel so far out in front of that plate in the zone as long as possible. Give yourself a chance to hit pitches that are close to being strikes. Sometimes it's not a strike, and you're going to give yourself a chance as long as that barrel stays in the zone.
I'm a big bat path guy as well, but being with the younger guys in A-ball, for me, it's just a matter of these guys getting ready. If they're not ready, they're not going to have a good bat path. If they're not ready, they're not going to see the ball. And so I'm a real big, when separation takes place, you better do it on time and be in a good athletic ready position so that swing will work for you. Because for me, if you're not ready, your swing's not going to work. Your swing is your swing. You have your swing. You have yours. You had yours. We all had our own swing. But it wasn't going to work well for us if we weren't ready. And that's what I always ask these young hitters. I go, why do you separate? Why do your hands go back and the front foot goes forward? And none of them can say why. To see the ball. That's it, man. It's all about seeing the baseball. So for me, it's being ready. Now, I'm a AA hitting coach, AAA. These guys know how to get ready. I mean, still granted, we're going to be late. They're going to be late.
Yeah, they don't all know how to get ready.
But you know what I mean. That's something I battle, and it's a constant fight, and they all know it, and they buy into it, and that's something that we haven't discussed yet, and that could be another topic. But it's the trust factor that these kids, we've got to earn their trust.
I think you have to use your eyes very well. I think they have to be calm, be quiet at all times. When I'm getting ready, as I'm swinging, when I follow through, I think you have to have quiet eyes, and I think you have to watch. You have to use them, like you said, in the dugout. To me, it's all about eye.